Okay, good morning again, great souls. Yeah, it's always interesting how our life has taken a turn. And when the first line from the autobiography of Yogi, the Indian culture is characterized by, do you all remember that sentence? By the truth, by the search for spiritual varieties, for the search for spiritual truths, and for the concomitant guru disciple guru relationship. So, how true it is, because I was just looking at the meaning of concomitant. Concomitant means which is naturally occurring, means when you're looking for truth, the next step is searching for a guide or guru. Because anything in life, even to go to the other part of the city nowadays, we need the Google Maps, and how much more we need the help of a guru to go through this journey. Because in a way, I was sharing recently that in a way there's a good veil put across us, not showing us how much more spiritual progress is yet to be taken, because it could be so overwhelming. Because each year, I think on the spiritual path, you all have been seeing how much we grow. And we are like, really, there was so much room to grow. It's almost like a surprise. Okay, every year we keep growing, and we're wondering how far is the journey. So in Lahiri Mahashaya ji, he was the reason to bring the Kriya Yoga, this lost science, into our lives, and also these teachings back. And in our line of gurus, I think his life when he met Babaji, as you all know, in Ranikhet, that changed the course of all the events, where he asked Babaji and he got initiated into Kriya Yoga only after, when he was around 33 years, when he was already a householder, when he already had two sons. That's when he met Babaji. It was very much planned, and Babaji told him, I have been still looking out for you from your childhood, even when you were in a soul in the womb. I have been keeping my eyes on you. And he shows him all his vessels with which he used to stay before, and see, I have polished and kept it ready for your coming. And this disciple guru relationship is so very special, because at the end of their conversation, Babaji says, whenever you want, I'll come for you, whenever you call out my name. And Yogananda ji writes, which eternal lover can give you such a promise? Because all our human promises falls in vain compared to this sort of promise by the Guru, that I'll come whenever you call out my name. That's what he promised him. And Lahiri Mahashaya ji did not want to come back, as you all know, from the Himalayas. But Babaji told him that's his mission. And then even while giving Kriya Yoga, Lahiri Mahashaya ji is that important phase in which that conversation where Lahiri Mahashaya ji says, Babaji says, there is this all restriction for whoever can give their life completely, for them give the Kriya practice. And Lahiri Mahashaya ji makes this exception and asks Babaji that could we also give it to anyone who humbly asks for it, and take out the rigid condition that they have to be complete renunciates. And Babaji said, okay, I think God has spoken through you, and yeah, let it be so. And that's how we all, wherever we are able to receive the science of Kriya Yoga and be able to practice it right in our homes. This, our little space of meditation space, has turned into our Himalayan front. I don't know how many incarnations are there in the past or future where we'll have all that secluded lives. But right now, it looks like our plan is to meditate in that small space of our room and try to send out these vibrations of this joy of the masters, which are so much needed. And you all have seen the Lahiri Mahashaji's photo, and I'll just share that even Lahiri Mahashaji's photo is, I think, from Autobiography of Yogi. If you all have read that episode, it was a very miraculous one, and Yogananda ji shares that's the only photo of image of him he has ever seen. So this image, Lahiri Mahashaji was sitting with his disciples when this person came to click a photograph of him. And Lahiri Mahashaji did not give his consent, but he clicked his photo, and he goes back and sees there's a blank space and there's nothing there where Lahiri Mahashaji was sitting. And this famous photographer, a proudful one, he comes back, he tells, no, I can capture anyone, and he puts out 12 plates. Back then that was the way the photography was done, and even in all the 12 plates there was no Lahiri Mahashaji was not captured on that small frame. And then he goes to Lahiri Mahashaya and pleads him, will you please, can I take a photograph of you? And then he says, come the next day. And then Lahiri Mahashaya gives his consent, and that's the photograph we have. And Lahiri Mahashaya gave one of this photo even to Yoganandaji's father. And also to one more devotee, he had given it. And this miraculous story, even with the photograph. So where this person and the daughter-in-law of Lahiri Mahashaya were in the room reading a book, and suddenly there is this thunderstorm, shock, and even the book get burned. But they knew, but at the same time, Lahiri Mahashaji's photo was in front of them, and they prayed to Lahiri Mahashaji. And this person said that there was a cold sheet that was protecting them from all this turbulence. And Lahiri Mahashaji said, if you think it's a photo, it's a photo. If you think it's a protection thing, it will protect you. In the same way, I think it's also how we look and view at things. I think a place of pilgrimage can be given off in such a way that, okay, somebody lived there. Or if you go with the same intensity and devotion and the purpose, even that pilgrimage, you will be able to experience, go back in time all the way where all these incidents happened. So that's the reason I think we all visit pilgrimage spots. And if we go with that intensity, with that right attitude, I think they will reveal their secrets, and they'll also give us the blessings that we need. It's always important. I think even now, wherever you have gone, you can still close your eyes and remember that place of pilgrimage, and I'm sure you'll receive the blessings. And also the interesting story, somehow I can't miss seeing this story of Lahiri Mahashaji's life, where his devotee, Aboyo, I think. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, from Aboyo. So from Kolkata, this devotee was there. She and her husband were wanting to meet Lahiri Mahashaji. And suddenly when they came to the railway station, they saw the train was ready to start to Varanasi. She knew if she misses this train, she'll have to wait one more day, or I don't know how many more days. She was like, she prayed out loud in her mind to Lahiri Mahashaji, Lahiri Mahashaji, please, can't you make this train? I want to really see you. And for her, the prayer request from her heart, what happened was the train which was moving, suddenly the wheels continued moving, but the train was stationary. The engineer came down, the driver, people all stepped out of train, started seeing this strange phenomena. What's happening? Why is the train not moving, but the wheels are turning? And suddenly some railway attendant, which is very surprising, came and offered her and her husband, you go please seated, I'll get you the tickets. And once they were seated and once they received the tickets, the train started moving slowly and everybody got back into the train. I think, yeah. So, and then when she goes back, when she reaches Varanasi and she meets Lahiri Mahashaji, there's a very interesting conversation happens where Lahiri Mahashaji teases her, telling, why couldn't you wait for the next train? What was so much to call out for me? I think in the same way, I think it's very, very close, heart touching that we all, when we call out to Lord, and even in the littlest things, He takes care of us. How this whole book of this incidents is very, this thing that we can make that connection. It's not too far. It feels like it's too far. Okay, Lahiri Mahashaji, in the spiritual, I am not even able to see anything in the meditation. It's one way we can look at it. But also at the same time, all these incidents, when you pour your heart out to God and gurus, and we are in tune with them, they will give us all the help. The help will come through any way. You can't say that it will come in this form, but the help will be there if we are open to it. There are many incidents, like also Yoganandaji's father, how he met Lahiri Mahashaji. As you all remember, he was strict on he was working in the railways, and he had a employee working under him called Avinash. And there was a time when Avinash went to Yoganandaji's father and asked him, please give me leave. I need to go meet my guru. And Yoganandaji's father was a strict person. He did not believe in these things. So when that day, when they were going back, he saw Avinash Babu also going back to his home, returning to his home, and he was in his palanquin, where he requested the palanquin be kept, and he steps aside. And Yoganandaji's father walks with Avinash Babu in the Gorakhpur field there. And then suddenly he's telling, why are you doing this? What do you get? Why don't you focus on your work? You'll get so much profit. You can just earn more money. He was telling all these things to Avinash. And suddenly out of the sunlight and that field appears the form of Lahiri Mahashaya. And he says, Bhagavati, why are you so hard on your employee? Think of it, what all is happening. And what happens next? He not only gives leave to Avinash, he also takes his wife and they both go to Varanasi to visit this guru. And also the birth of Yogananda ji was also very much blessed by Lahiri Mahashaya, and he was keeping a keen eye because he knew Yogananda ji would be that spiritual engine that will bring lot of souls back to God. Because Lahiri Mahashaya himself did not write many books, but he gave devotees the permission to do it. And he did not even allow, I think he was not too much for organization. Like a spiritual bee, even after he served for 25 years, even after returning from Himalayas. Just think of it. Family responsibilities, the business, then at the same time meditation, attunement, and all the devotees used to come to his house at night. And after retirement, it was said morning and evening, he was available for all these devotees who came seek the Kriya initiation. And also one more interesting thing is, along with all these things, he also helped with the education sector. He also helped with the forming of a high school in that region of Varanasi, which also shows how progressive he was. Like he was telling all, this was very important to grow, for the world to grow, that they're educated, and education plays a big part. And he also had something called Gita Assembly, where he used to give spiritual discourses. And also, very interesting thing is he came from a Brahmin family. As you all know, back then, right now also there is some sort of influence of caste, but back then in Varanasi in 1800s, so 1800s and 1900s, so early. So what happened was he used to give Kriya initiations to other people from other faiths too. There were many followers from Muslims and other religions who were his ardent followers and who practiced Kriya. He told them, practice your namas for those people, but also do your Kriya practice. For all the Hindus, he said, you need to meditate 4 times a day, as the scriptures say. And there are many, also the story of postman, Brunda, is also very interesting. I think you all remember, where this person came and requests for, give me the second initiation. I am ready. You're not seeing how ready I am. This person tells to Lahiri Mahashaya, and suddenly this Brunda, a postman who is also a devotee of Lahiri Mahashaya, comes by, and Lahiri Mahashaya invites him, Brunda, how are you doing? Shall we give you the second initiation? And Brunda says, no, master, no. I came here to plead you because the joy of the first initiation, first Kriya is so much that I'm not able to deliver my letters. Will you please do something? And then this other person saw through it that he was being a faulty man at the tools. He did not know how to use the technique well, in the sense like technique has to be done with Guru's attunement, devotion. And all of these incidents is just setting us good examples of what the right attitude of a disciple should be. I think we all in our lives have experienced how each of these teachings have been so helpful. And so let me see what else. Yeah, I was just wondering, I can also share with you a writing that also Lahiri Mahashaya says, through the use of Kriya Ki, persons who cannot bring themselves to believe in the divinity of any man will behold at last the full divinity of their own selves. Is that not true? That all of these teachings, wherever we are, wherever little bit we are, we have been able to feel that joy. Also now connecting to also the Christ-like life of Lahiri Mahashaya. And Yogananda ji shares, as you all know, there is something called an Old Testament in Bible and New Testament. There are two things. So in the Old Testament, there is this characters who is Elijah, and Elisha. And it's Yogananda ji said these were none other than John the Baptist and Christ. And Yogananda ji shares that when you look at Bible and you read the Bible from the Eastern viewpoint, and also from his intuitional perception, he realized this fact that both John the Baptist and Jesus Christ were the guru disciples who just continued. Like John the Baptist was the guru of Jesus in the previous incarnation. John the Baptist was Elijah, and Christ was Elisha. I think the name's pronunciation can be a little hard on me, but so also what happens is what he tells us in New Testament, the names get changed. And some of the statements he shares is at the very end of Old Testament. Behold, I'll send you Elijah, the prophet, before coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. Thus, John Elijah, sent before the coming of the Lord, was born slightly earlier to serve as herald of Christ. I think again this example showing that even there was this incarnations, everything mentioned in the Bible, but somehow it was taken out. And also this love, for example, it is also said, and he shall go before him, and in the spirit and power of Elias, to turn the hearts of their fathers to the children and disobedient to the wisdom of the just, to make ready a people prepared for the Lord. Also, it was said that John the Baptist gave all his power mantle to his devotee Elisha, who was Christ. And what happens in the next incarnation when John the Baptist is born, Zacharias, for the person who is the father of John the Baptist, the angel said unto him, Fear not, Zacharias, for thy prayer is heard, and thy wife Elizabeth shall bear thee a son, and thou shalt call him his name John. And many of the children of Israel shall he turn to Lord their God, and he shall go before him in the spirit and power of Elias, to turn the hearts of fathers to children. Again, I think all this example is just saying that, like, this concomitant disciple-guru relationship, which we knew is the first line of the autobiography of Yogi, is also the same. There was this John the Baptist and Christ, and here is Lahiri Mahashaya and Babaji's example. Like, also, as you all know, Lahiri Mahashaya had got this promise that whenever he calls out the name of Babaji, the great master would appear. So once when he comes back in the beginning days, I think his friends, he calls them out into a room and he shares this experience, and they say, really, is that possible? And then using this miraculous, also the wish list that he has got, he calls out for Babaji, and Babaji appears in that room. And people touch him. And then, but Babaji, before leaving the room, tells to Lahiri Mahashaya, I'll come only when I need you next time. So in the same way, I think we all have the presence of God and Guru. So how can we implement these things in our life, or what do we learn from these great lives? That, like Swami Kriyanandaji said, I want to be a good example of disciple. So in many ways, I think all of these examples is helping us to attune to these great masters. I think being that light, just that the perfume of the Kriya practice and all of your meditation practice will slowly blossom. You don't have to tell to anyone, just by the practice and by your actions, you'll see this vibrations go out, and you will be sharing these teachings, and you'll see the changes in your own family. I think you're already seeing it. And you'll also start seeing the changes in your workplace. I think just by doing our little part, even that way, maybe it's not our part right now for Babaji to call us to Himalayas, and but he might still call us, and we can still go to the Babaji's cave there, take his blessings and come. But also at the same time, do our part wherever we are right now, by diving deep into these teachings, and every moment somehow to spiritualize it, because it's almost our whole life. It's a daily life, like Kriya in daily life, the word we use or phrase we use. It's also, we have to implement these teachings in every action. When we can feel that joy in meditation, that's when all these evil things, they won't have a control over us. So whenever you feel that divine joy flowing, just dive deep right into it. And there are times in our lives when we hit the down, when you'll not be feeling divine joy, and you'll be in moods or anything that can happen. But at the same time, remember to hold the feet of the Guru and just tell to him, I know whatever is happening, I'm still the child of you, Divine Mother. No matter what it is, I'm the child of this omnipresent good, and your power flows through me. And soon you'll see the moods and everything will go away. Call out to your friends, Guru guys, just chant with them. And this time, I think, is one more time reminder that the time can be really scarce. We don't know how much time we have on this planet, but at the same time, we all can do our best and offer ourselves completely to divine. I think if whatever little message we can carry out, let's carry that out. That we'll just take all of these saints in our heart, Lahiri Mahashaya in our heart, and he said, when we practice these teachings, he'll be with us. He'll come to us at the spiritual light, and he'll bless us even in the any place we are. So by saying that, I'll just close this session. It's been, thank you for joining, because it's not one person speaking here. I think it's all of us, I think, sharing this vibration of Lahiri Mash and Masters together. I think we all are in same room, burning this candle of light, or if we can make that symbolism of this light of divine joy, which we want to share it with the entire world. And now, okay, let's also share these blessings with the world. Let's bring bring to our minds all the people who need healing. Just know that the channel is blessed by what flows through it. And also call out to Lahiri Mahashaya ji at the spiritual eye. Asking for his presence in our lives, in everyone's life, for peace, harmony, his joy, bliss, and light. Let's pray together. Divine Mother, thou art omnipresent. Thou art in all thy children. Manifest thy healing presence in all bodies, minds, and souls. Let's rub our hands. Feel Lahiri Mahashaya ji flowing through us, chanting Om and sending his divine vibrations to entire planet. We also as together as a team doing it from the same room. Blessed Sunday, and like always it said, go out with joy.